1,000 new email subscribers in 30 days. That's our goal today. One of the reasons why I think this is such an important topic is because I learned early on when I started building businesses online that your email list is so important because it's your database of interested people in your products and services, right? It's one of the worst things in the world to try to sell something to somebody who is not really interested, who's not really an ideal customer, somebody who, even if they buy, they're going to be a pain in the butt, right? They're not going to really be your ideal customer. They're going to cause you more grief than it's worth. So you really want to build an email list so you can be able to tap into these contacts so you can, offer them your products, your services, and things like that. I also believe now more than ever, email is such a powerful tool. We are bombarded with so much distraction with social media, with notifications on our phone, with WhatsApp, with all this other stuff. Email is still the actual best way to communicate with people when it comes to business. Why? Because you have to deal with email, okay? With social media, if you post something on Facebook, it's easy to ignore. I can just kind of scroll past it. Same thing with Twitter, same with any other platform. But with email, if I get an email from somebody, I have to do something with it. I have to either read it or archive it or save. I have to do something. I can't just ignore it. So getting access to somebody's inbox is absolute gold these days. So really growing your email list is sort of like a gold rush these days where people are trying to grow their email list as much as possible now before, people start, saying, hey, you know what? My inbox is kind of full. I've subscribed to enough people. So I really would love for you to kind of think about that for a moment and kind of take that in as we're moving on in today's workshop. Love it. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this is what we're going to be talking about in today's webinar. Why webinars? Why would you want to use webinars to grow your email list? And this is really important because you can grow your email list in different ways, through blogging or, other ways to grow your email list. You can offer like a PDF. You can offer something else. But I'm going to show you why webinars are a fantastic way for you to kind of, one, get more people to sign up, and two, not take too much of your time in terms of building the system, right? You want to kind of build something so it can grow your email list on autopilot while you're working on your business. Other ways it's going to cause you to kind of keep on producing content over and over and over, and it's really kind of like a hamster wheel. We're also going to talk about these. This is like the meat and potatoes of today's session, which is the 4 massive email list growth strategies that I have used over the years that really work. They're totally underutilized, so I would love for you to go ahead and utilize them. The next thing we're talking about is putting it all to action. I'm going to show you a quick demo of WebinarNinja, show you how you can actually implement the things I'm going to be teaching you today with the software WebinarNinja, so you can build your webinar and start building your email list. And then we'll have a special offer at the end for those who want to get started with webinars with WebinarNinja. If you're not a member yet and you want to get started, we have a special offer for those who want to get started. Awesome. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so for those who don't know, I'm Omar Zenhome, I'm the co-founder of WebinarNinja. I actually got started with webinars because I was selling my online course called the $100 MBA. We have a podcast also called the $100 MBA Show, which is quite popular, won Best of iTunes in 2014. And I really just built WebinarNinja out of my own need. I wanted to scratch my own itch. I used other software. It was kind of clunky. It was hard to use. It was ugly. I had a hodgepodge of different pieces of software to make it happen. Email marketing software, landing page software. It was just too much, hassle. And I just wanted an easier way. So I built something very simple to use for my own webinars. And as I was running webinars, people are asking me, hey, what are you using with this, webinar? I've never seen it before. And I said, it's just something I slapped together. And they're like, well, can we buy it? And that was kind of the birth of WebinarNinja, where we pre-sold access to WebinarNinja for 250 beta members. This is back in 2014. And from there, they really informed the product, helped us improve. And now we're in WebinarNinja 5.0 with over 14,000 users. It's fantastic to see that kind of growth. But it was, I haven't done it alone. I have my partner in business, my partner in life, Nicole Baldino, who's also in the chat today. And in our free time, when we have a chance, we like to travel a bit to Europe. This is a picture of us in Tuscany going on a Vespa ride. Those helmets don't look so safe, but we went for it. For those who don't know, I started my career as a teacher. I was a high school and university teacher for a very long time, for 13 years actually. And I built businesses on the side. That's what I did. I had a side hustle from 2001 to 2012. And one of my biggest side hustles is my own clothing line, actually. I was in e-commerce for a very long time. You know, I took that leap of faith. I jumped into entrepreneurship, and I wanted to start building my email list just like you. And that's when I jumped into webinars. And just a bit of a timeline of my history and WebinarNinja's history. You know, we started in 2014 with our beta launch at 1.0, and we keep iterating. We hear from our users, we build off that feedback, we improve the software. We've released WebinarNinja 5.0 about 13 months ago, and every month since we released it, we've been releasing new updates and new features and new improvements based on user feedback. Because really, I built it for myself, but I built it for other people who want to make it easy for them to build, to run webinars. So that's a little bit of history, a little bit of context of why I'm teaching you about how to use webinars to build your email list. Let's jump into it. All right, let's do it. Okay, so why would you want to use webinars to grow your business, to grow your email list? Okay, the first reason I want to say is that you want to leverage the content you build that attracts people to grow your email list. Currently, most people, and I've audited a lot of websites of our users and things like that, and if you take a look at anybody's website, most people, they say, sign up to my email list because what? What is the incentive they say? Tell me in the chat. What is the biggest incentive that people give? Sign up to my email list and I will give you this, right? Most people say what? They say, sign up to my newsletter, right? They say, I'll give you emails every week. That's what they say, right? Tips, a lead magnet of some sort, right, Mike? They say like, hey, some sort of PDF, right? Some sort of ebook, right? Some sort of white paper, a free resource, a checklist, right? Bernadette, great. These are all good and dandy, but let's be honest, it's becoming very ubiquitous. Everybody's doing that. Everybody's doing that. Everybody's saying, here, check out my list, check out my 5 tips to do this, my PDF, my white paper, my ebook. And there is value in those handouts. It's not like they're not valuable, but you need to stand out. You need to be able to say, hey, I'm going to give you something that no one else is giving, or most people are not giving. And that's, I want to give you a personal training. I want to give you a live training that you can watch, that you can see, that you can actually learn from. You can ask questions. There's an incredible amount of perceived value to that versus, you know, me giving you a book. Imagine I said to you, I met at a conference and I said, hey, I really like you, you're really cool. Here's my book, right? I'm going to give you a copy of my book. Which one is more valuable? Me to say, here's my book, or here's 2 tickets to this annual event I do that's exclusive, that you learn about this topic, right? 2 tickets to the event is a lot more valuable because there is a lot more interaction. There's a lot more learning going on, and you already in your mind, you're thinking, oh, no one gives 2 tickets to an event, you know? So book equals digital dust. I love it. So what I want to say is you want to stand out, right? Workshops have an incredible perceived value, right? So by running a live workshop, you're going to stand out over people that are offering PDFs or white papers or newsletters or ebooks. And I realized this really early on that, like, hey, if I want to be able to attract more people to my email list, I got to offer more than be on my newsletter, or you'll get, you know, a weekly tip or whatever. I got to be able to say, hey, I'm going to go above and beyond. So what you're going to do as a first step, because building your email list, the challenge here is not actually building the content, right? Right? Am I correct? Like creating that PDF, writing that ebook, you know, you're creating some sort of handout. Those things are not hard, right? It just takes a week or 2 to kind of put together. It takes hard work, but it's not really the challenge. The challenge is what? Is getting people to sign up, right? Is marketing that product. See, a lot of people don't see that when you're selling somebody, I'm saying using the word selling, when you're selling somebody on joining your email list, they don't make a good sales pitch, okay? They don't make a good sales pitch. You have to sell people on it, right? You can't just say, hey, I'm giving something for free. It's not for sale. No, you have to convince them, hey, you can trust me with your email because I'm going to give you value, okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about, how to market your actual webinar so you can get people to sign up, right? The marketing is really what we need to focus on. So what you'll do is you'll create a webinar, a topic on your area of expertise, right? If you are looking to find topic ideas, you can go to social media. You can crowdsource the idea. Say, hey, I'm thinking about, say, for example, I'm a basketball coach. I'm looking to do a webinar on improving your basketball skills. Which one of these things would you want to learn about? Free throw shooting, passing, or defense, right? And get to hear from your crowd, get to hear from your network, and find out. You can run an Ask Me Anything webinar where you can run a webinar where it's just open Q&A, right? And you invite people to that webinar and you get them to ask you questions. And then when they ask you questions, those questions become topics for your next webinar, okay? So crafting that webinar is the easy part. The hard part now is getting people to sign up, okay? So how do we get people to sign up? We're gonna use these strategies to get them to sign up, okay? Now, these strategies work, but they're gonna take some work. They're gonna take some rolling up your sleeves and doing things that you probably haven't thought of doing before because you're like, oh, you can do that? Yeah, you can do that, okay? So what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna try to leverage different assets on the internet so we can be able to bring in new people to our email list. When I say new people to the email list, that basically means invite them to my webinar, okay? I'm gonna invite them to my webinar. I'll show you later inside of WebinarNinja how you can integrate your email list with WebinarNinja so people get, added to your email list, whatever you're using for your email marketing software. But the point here is that you are gonna get them to sign up for your webinar so you can grow that email list. Okay, so let's see how we're gonna do this. Okay, number one, we're gonna capitalize on the traffic you're already getting. So many people are not doing this, right? They have one page on their website called free resources, right? Or they have a pop-up, right? Some sort of exit pop-up or something like that. You need to be a little bit more strategic when it comes to your own website. You're getting traffic anyway. People are searching you on Google, they're finding you, word of mouth, social media. If they're on your website, this is an opportunity. You got to get their email because once they leave, it's hard to get them back, right? You want to be able to grab their email so you can contact them later and say, hey, I got an offer, I got a new thing I want to show you. Okay, so how are we going to do that? There are different parts of the website that really work. Now, I have found over time the exit pop-ups and pop-ups in general they're effective, but they're not as effective as some of these actual tips I'm going to give you right now. They're not as effective as they used to be, I have to say. So I really believe that you should have something on your homepage that says, hey, I'm running a webinar, I'm giving a workshop, and you can click here to sign up, and this is linked to your registration page. So let me show you an example of that. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Okay, so here's my website, WebinarNinja. This is the homepage. I use a couple of tools, but the one tool that I've been exploring recently is called Magnify, right? And you could see that this, if I just reload my page here, I'm logged in here to WordPress, so it's showing here. But you'll see that it will just appear on the bottom. As I'm scrolling, it will just show up. Right? Come on, let's show up. Here it is. Okay. So on my homepage, I have a little bit of a notification here on the left, but it appears on my homepage. I've been split testing this and having a banner that shows up on top here, seeing which one will convert more. Both have been pretty good, but I'm still in the testing phase. But I recommend having an invite to your live training on your homepage. It's the most trafficked website page or page on your website. I would definitely have that on your homepage immediately, okay? So have a banner, have some sort of pop-up, and I'm gonna share some tools that I think really work really well. So this is a pure example of somebody's on my website, they're looking at the information, they may be interested, they may have some questions, they see this, it's like, oh, there's a live training and a demo of the software, oh, I wanna check that out. They click it, I get their email via registration to my webinar, okay? So use your homepage as much as possible. Okay, what else can we do? Or where else on our website should we have this? Let's go back and I'll stop sharing screen. Okay, so your blog, you have a right column, a left column on your blog. Definitely have a link, a button, an image to your workshop on your blog. People are going to your blog to read articles. People are going to your blog because they found something on Google that using your keywords. Definitely have something on the right column. Have it sit there. You're going to get people signing up just off that right column. At the end of your blog post, I always have this at the end of my blog post. It's called a content upgrade. But at the end of every blog post, you should have a button, a link, a line that says, hey, you got to the end of the blog post. Sounds like you're interested in this topic. I'm doing a live workshop. You can register here. Okay, you can click and that will link to your registration page. Okay. In your header and your footer, this is probably the most killer ones on your website. You should definitely, so you'll see on the website, I'll share my screen again real quick. So you'll see on my website, I have some links here on the top, feature, demo, but you also have free training, right? So you can have a link up here that says, I have some free training or free workshop right in the header, right in the menu options, right? Same thing with the footer. If you're in your footer of the website, I'm scrolling down here, you can have it in the footer, okay? Where it links to your workshop, okay? Your whole goal here is to get people to sign up to your workshop, to get on your email list. So put it in prominent places like this, okay? Make sure that you're capitalizing on the traffic you're already getting. Okay, let's move on to the other strategies. So these are the tools I recommend. Magnify works on any website. It's HTML based, so I really like Magnify. It's a new tool. It's really clean, so check it out. Sumo is also a great tool. It works on pretty much anything. Sumo.com. I've been using Sumo for years. It's really good. Thrive Leads is also a good one if you use a WordPress website, and it's pretty good value, good price. It's a one-off price kind of thing, and I recommend that too for like header banners and things like that. Where do I find Magnify tool? Let me look at the it's app.magnify.com. Let me just find that for you real quick. Nicole will put it in the chat. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so she's going to put it in the chat. And Thrive Leads, if you just Google it, you'll find it too. And Sumo's pretty popular, sumo.com. I love it. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next strategy. So capitalize on the site traffic that you already have. Okay, this one. Create 3 external lead magnets. One of the things I realized early on is that it's not enough for me just to have my website. I need to leverage other audiences. I need to be able to build upon audiences that already exist, audiences that are larger than mine, okay? And they don't have to be in your actual niche in your marketplace. Let me show you what I mean, okay? So you're going to create 3 pieces of leveraged marketing, okay? One of them is a blog post. Now, the reason why I choose these 3 types, a blog post, a podcast, and a video on YouTube is because these are evergreen. No matter what happens, people will be able to register for this webinar and be able to watch it anytime, now, later, next year. And I'm going to show you how you can have your webinar be available, the recording of the webinar be available forever. So people can register and be able to watch that webinar even after it's not live, okay? So what we're going to do with a blog post, a guest blog post, I start with that one because it's the most powerful one. I want you to look at different markets that you might be able to add some value. I love the quote that Arnold Schwarzenegger says in his autobiography, go where it's not crowded, okay? So for example, if I were going to write a blog post about webinars, right? What would be crowded? Me to go to a website like Copyblogger, or go to a website like that's in my marketplace that's quite busy, that people are already writing at. A blog post like Entrepreneur Magazine, that's super crowded. There's many articles going every day, right, in that niche. You want to go outside of that. What I did is I went to something like Digital Photography School. Digital Photography School is not a business website, but there's photographers there that will want to build the business around photography, that will want to run webinars to grow their audience, right? And it's underserved. No one's teaching them this stuff, right? So I went and I approached Digital Photography School to write a guest post. But here's the kicker. This is what you need to know. I can't just go to Digital Photography School and say, hey, I'm Joe Schmo. I'm somebody you never heard of. I'd like to write a guest post for you. Would that be okay? That's the easy way for them to say no. It's a very easy way for them to just say, I don't know who you are. I don't know if you can write. I don't know if you can add value. No. Or they're going to ignore your email. So the better way to do this is to actually study their website. Take a look at the articles that they have already. Look at the comments on the articles that are similar to what you're looking to do. So I looked at all the articles that have to do with going pro as a photographer on Digital Photography School, right? I looked at people saying, this is a great article, but I wish you taught this. I wish you talked about that. I wish you talked about, getting clients or building, your portfolio of testimonials, things like that. So I would study the website, study the articles, and then I would write a whole blog post with images, 2,500 words, and complete it based on everything I know that they need on that website. And then I emailed the editor at Digital Photography School and said, hey, I would love to guest post on your blog. I wrote already 2,500 words with images, with everything. I studied your website. I think that you really would benefit, and your audience would benefit from these tips on how to go pro as a photographer, right? And then I submit it, and it's like the blog post is attached on this email. That's a whole lot easier for them to say, okay, this thing is done already. I can read it. It's good. Yes. That's an easy way to get a yes, right? But most people don't do that because they don't want to do the work. They don't want to write it up. They say, what if they say no after I write it up? You're banking on the fact they're going to say no? No, they're most likely going to say yes. And even if they say no, you can take that article and publish it on your own website. It's not a waste of time. But the point is that that's how you get a yes. Now, what does that have to do with growing your email list? Well, I write these great articles for other sites, and at the bottom of the article, I tell the editor, hey, I'm on the bottom of the article, I'm going to invite them to a live workshop, or I'm going to invite them to a webinar or recorded seminar, and they say to me, no problem. So on the bottom, I just say, hey, it looks like you're really interested in this topic. I want to invite you to a workshop that I'm running. Click this link to watch this workshop or register for the workshop. Right. So everybody who is reading this blog post, Digital Photography School has over 1 million subscribers. Right. So I think we got over 10,000 emails off that one blog post. It took me 2 weeks to do, but it was so dynamic and so powerful. So I highly recommend you do this with a guest post for your blog. OK, for somebody else's blog. This is very powerful, and it's going to allow you to have this evergreen. We still get people signing up because it comes up on Google searches, that blog post that I wrote. So I want you to do the same thing with a podcast. Look at your genre. Look at your marketplace. If you're in the health and fitness, go to the health and fitness genre in iTunes. Go look at the top 100 podcasts, and I want you to reach out to as many as you can and say, hey, I would love to be a guest on your show. These people, they live and die by having guests on their show. Most podcasts are interview podcasts, and if they don't have somebody to interview, they don't have a podcast, okay? So you need to make sure that you reach out, but when you reach out, tell them what kind of value you can add to their audience. Hey, I've listened to your podcast. This is what I've heard, a lot of great stuff, but I think I can add value in this area. I think this area is untapped. This is what I'd like to talk about. And then every podcast is going to ask you, hey, are you promoting something? Is there a website? Is there something that you want me to give a shout out to? This is when you plug in your webinar. Yes, I have a webinar that you can check out, and you can easily just create a page on your website called, I have one called WebinarNinja.com/workshop, and it forwards to my webinar link. Okay, because it's easier to say that because it's a pretty URL. It's easier to say that on audio. And they can put it in the show notes as well. Again, podcasts are evergreen, so people can listen to this podcast episode over and over. 10 years from now, it's still going to be there, and it's going to grow your email list evergreen. Okay, the last one is a YouTube channel. This one's a little bit interesting because a lot of people do interviews on YouTube. So they do Skype calls, and they record, and they do interviews for their shows. They become guests. Even sometimes they do it in person. I like the fact that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And if you're on a decent channel with 20,000 subscribers, you're going to get traffic. And again, they have notes, descriptions in the video where you can plug in your webinar, where you can say, hey, register for my webinar to learn more. They can ask questions, or they can just watch the recording. Any questions so far? I want to pause here. I know I gave a lot of information, and I want to kind of make sure everybody's on the same page. Give me a thumbs up if you feel good. If this is good so far, if this information is helpful, let me know in the chat. Before I move on, I want to make sure I take a pulse of the crowd. Great stuff. Thank you so much. Love you, Tom. Great. Yes. Awesome. What about paid traffic? Bill, good question. I'll talk about that. All right. Okay, cool stuff. Okay, so paid traffic, great new ideas. So paid traffic, thanks, Karen. I think paid traffic is it's a great tool, but it can get quite expensive very quickly. And I don't recommend it, especially if you are still growing right now, you're still building your business, because there are better ways. I feel that, like the things I showed you today, these things just require more time and effort, but they're more powerful than a paid ad. Because one, it's coming as organic traffic, it's coming as organic content. And I just found it to be more powerful. Once you kind of get things going, you can promote blog posts, you can promote social media, you can sponsor podcasts, things like that. But I do think they can get quite expensive very quickly. I wouldn't recommend it if you're making, less than $500,000 a year, just because it just will add up, and you're going to spend a lot of money just experimenting. So that's kind of my thoughts on paid traffic. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Run a viral contest. You may have an email or list already. You may have contacts. You may have people on LinkedIn. You might have people on social media. These people believe in you. They've already signed up. They like you. They like your content, right? Mobilize these people. These people are believers, okay? Believers? No, believers, right? And these people, they can help you promote your webinar, okay? So what I like to do is run a contest. So what you're going to do is that you're going to email your current list and post on social a contest. Say, hey, I want you to promote my latest workshop. Here's the link to the workshop, and create a hashtag for this workshop. Say, for example, again, the basketball example, hashtag free throw like a boss, right? And that's my hashtag. Free throw like a boss is my hashtag, and I want you to hashtag when you promote this on social media, okay? You can even provide some copy like, hey, this workshop is about this. Here are some bullet points, and you give them that instruction, okay? What you're gonna do is you're gonna tell your email list, you're gonna tell the people on social media that you're already following, say, hey, I'm running a contest. Anybody who posts this on their wall, on their social media profile, on Instagram, on whatever, using the hashtag, okay, they will enter the chance to win. So the person who gets the most likes or the most retweets in total will get a prize. This is a very simple thing for them to do, especially when you give them the copy, you give them the link, you give them the bullet points, you give them the hashtag. They just copy it in the email that you send it to them. They paste it on Facebook, and they see how it goes, right? And you just give them the instructions on how to win. How do you win? Just post it on social media, use the hashtag and use the link, and the person who has the most likes and retweets will or shares will win the prize. And you can give a gift, and it doesn't even have to be that significant. It doesn't have to be a new car or anything like that. Most people are happy with a $100 gift certificate from Amazon for taking 5 seconds to copy something and paste it into their social media and share something they love anyway. Okay. Tom says, how would you set this up? Have no idea how this would work. Exactly what I'm explaining here, Tom. I would email my list these instructions. Hey, I'm running a workshop. This is what the workshop is about. Here's a link to the workshop. Here's the hashtag, right? I give this instruction in the email, or I can post this on my social media profile, wherever I have traffic, I have a following, or on LinkedIn. And then I say, hey, when you share this is the rules of engagement. This is the rules. How do you track the traffic? Well, you can search the hashtag, and then you can look at all the posts that are connected to your hashtag and see who has the highest, retweets or likes and shares. You can calculate it. It's a manual process, but it works. You can do that, and then you search the hashtag and find all the posts that people are sharing, see the ones that are getting the most shares and likes, and you award that prize. And you can do a screenshot and then email everybody or put it on your social media profile and say, hey, this is our winner. This is Fred. He won the $100 gift certificate on Amazon. Thanks for sharing. And in the meantime, everybody else is sharing too. So it allows people to spread your link, spread your message, and market your actual workshop for you. Got it. I love it. Bill says, what about FB fan pages and groups? That's a very good question. So if it's your group, if it's your fan page, yes, definitely do that. Get them to mobilize for you. Get them to spread the message with your link and your hashtag and your bullet points. I would be worried. I would be careful about other people's groups because self-promotion is kind of a taboo in those groups, and you may be kicked out, things like that. Yes, my group, Bill. I love it. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Even though I believe personally, like on a personal level, I believe if you're sharing something that's useful, I don't think it's really that bad. Plus, you're not asking for money. It's free. The workshop is free. But I know that some groups are sensitive about that. But people that are like in some of the Facebook groups that we ran in the past, if they did that, I wouldn't mind because I want to see them succeed. But just check with the group. Love it. Okay. I never spam. Bill, I know you don't. You're good. Okay, cool. So this is a great way to get other people to share your workshop. What else? Number 4, use your personal assets. A lot of people forget the fact that you have personal assets you use all the time that are basically billboards. They're basically digital marketing. What are these personal assets? And some of this stuff is not digital. Your email signature. I'm talking about your personal email, like your business email, the one that, mine is Omar at WebinarNinja.com. On the bottom, I have a signature, right? It's a Gmail business email. On that signature, you could say, want to learn more? Want to join my free workshop on how to build your email list? And it's linked, okay? This is awesome, right? Because every time you send an email out, personal, private, you're sending an email to make a connection with somebody, whatever it is, they see that signature. They're going to see it. This is great because not that the fact that you send so many emails, but because when you're emailing from your own email, you're usually emailing other people in your network, other people that you're building relationships with, other influencers. People are going to see that link. They're going to check it out. Oh, this is pretty cool. I like this. I'm going to share that with my group. I'm going to share that in my newsletter. I'm going to share that with my audience on social media. So add it to your signature. This takes 5 seconds. You can do it on your iPhone too or your smartphone and change your signature and just put the link to your workshop, okay? And I'm going to show you how to create one right now on Webinar Ninja and how to grab that link. Add it to your social profile. So on Twitter, you can specify a link to most people put their website. Why your website? Okay, great. People can Google your website. You can just try for a month, put the link to your workshop and see how much traffic you get off your social profile. In your description of any of your social profiles, you should be able to put a website, put your link to your workshop there. I also highly recommend even offline adding it to your business card, okay? When I meet somebody new, I'm having a small conversation or something like that at a conference, I will probably easily find their website through a Google search. Like I know the name of their business. I can look at it. If it says like, how to build tiny homes is the name of the business. I can Google it. I'll find the website. That's easy. I don't need their website. What I really want to know is, what do they do? What do they know? What's their area of expertise? If I really want to find a video of them, right? I want to find something on YouTube, and sometimes that's a lot harder. So if you put the link to your workshop, that's going to allow you to build more connections. It'll allow you to also get people to learn more about what you do, as well as the value you give. And again, it's an email list, right? It's something to add to the email list. Really, a lot of people ask, are business cards relevant these days? And I say they're relevant if you can convert that business card into a contact in your email list. And this is a great way to do that, right? Some people, what they do is on the other side of the card, like they have their information on one, and the other side of the card, they say, my free gift to you, or my free workshop to you, or whatever it is. And it has, their link, and it's nice and easy for them to go ahead and do that. So I really think you should leverage these personal assets that you have because they're just sitting there and you're probably not utilizing them. And the email signature, the social profile, your business card, this is definitely something that you can do easily and get more email subscribers. Okay, so to recap, number 1, let me move the slide here. Number 1, we're going to capitalize on the traffic you already have by displaying ways for people to sign up for your workshop on your homepage, on your blog column, at the bottom of all your blog posts. Go to every blog post, link up to your workshop and say, hey, looks like you're interested in this topic. I'm running a workshop. Here's the workshop link, okay? Make sure that you're capitalizing on the traffic in your headers and footers, in your navigations, okay? You can definitely do that. People look at navigation, look at the choices. If there's one that says free training, go for it, okay? Number 2, create 3 external lead magnets. We talked about guest posting. I gave you the whole strategy on how to guest post effectively. Produce the content, approach the blog with the content intact and ready. Same thing with podcasts. Take the time to read to listen to the podcast before you reach out to them. Find out where you can add value and let them know. Same thing with a YouTube channel. Run a viral contest. We talked about, sharing that link, sharing that hashtag, and allowing the people that already believe in you to share that information and grow your list. And then lastly, use your personal assets. Okay. These are awesome ideas. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. Okay. What about contest? Tell me, Bill, elaborate. Let me know what you mean by what about contest. This is the one where I talked about where you share the link and you run to get leads. So if I just go back a couple slides here, this is the one I talked about where you email your list or you post on social and you say, hey, I would like you to share my workshop with your crowd, with your friends and family. Here's a link. Here's a hashtag that you create. Just any hashtag you like, hashtag that's unique to you, and then provide provide copy. Like when I say copy, I mean just bullet points or information on what the workshop is about, and just show them how to win. The person who gets the most tweets, the most retweets, the most likes, the most shares, they will get a prize, and you could dictate that prize. It could be Amazon gift card, it could be iTunes gift card, it could be, if you're feeling really fancy, it could be a Kindle, whatever you like. And I like digital giveaways because they're easier to deliver. I see 5-day trainings a lot. Yes, that's definitely an option. I'll show you how you can do that as well with Webinar Ninja and how you can allow that to be evergreen as well. So I'm going to jump into that now, Bill. Okay, so we had the recap. Let's implement. Sorry, I went too fast here. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you how we can create this webinar and allow it to run for as long as we want. So the content is evergreen. Let me show you how to do that now. I'm going to share my screen real quick. I'm going to maximize my video here. Boom. And okay, I'm inside my account inside of Webinar Ninja. Here is my list of upcoming webinars, my past webinars. At any time inside of Webinar Ninja, if I want to create a webinar, I can go to the top right-hand corner here. I'm just going to maximize here so there's nothing but this. And I'm going to zoom in. There's a little link here that says Create Webinar. Now, with Webinar Ninja, we made it super simple for you to create a webinar. So fast, so easy, because we know that the easier it is, the more you're going to use it, all right? And the more you're going to use it, the more benefit and more return on investment you're going to get for your business. So with Webinar Ninja, you can run several types of webinars. Bill was talking about a 5-day course. You could do a series webinar inside of Webinar Ninja if you'd like, where people register for they register one time on a registration page, and then they automatically get signed up for 4 or 5 different dates, as many dates as you like or times you'd like. These can be live, they can be recorded, okay? But we also have automated webinars, which we'll talk about in a moment. We also have hybrid webinars, which is a recorded video, but you're live in the chat and in the questions area and all that stuff. But we're going to create a live webinar just as an example, because I can convert my live webinars into an automated webinar automatically, nothing I have to do. So I have, let's say I'm going to say we're doing that free throw workshop. Free, oh, that's 3. Free throws like a boss, okay? That's my workshop. I can add a co-host if I like. So let's say, for example, I'm adding my co-host, who's a good free throw shooter, Steph Curry. Steph Curry is going to come on board. We're old pals. Steph at curry.com. Okay. So when I add a co-host, what's really cool is that they get an email. They get all the information. I don't have to do that on my own personal email. Webinar Ninja will send them all the information automatically. So that way they know where to go and all that stuff. Okay. Hit save. We're going to choose a date. Okay, let's say what date I want to do this live for. Let's say the 4th of March, and I choose the time. Let's say I do it at 1 p.m. for an hour. Perfect. This is going to be a free webinar. I have the choice to make it paid, but for the list building purpose, I'm going to make it free. And I'm going to hit create webinar. Let's see what the next step is when we create a webinar. Fortunately, with Webinar Ninja, what we do is that we take the most basic information and you're done. That's it. There's no other steps. That's it. We create everything for you in the background. Your thank you page, your registration pages, your email notifications, everything you need to run a successful webinar. And what's great is that you can change and edit and customize all this if you like. So say, for example, you want to change your registration page. you could do that. We have a page builder, which allows you to change all aspects of the registration page, right? So me and Steph Curry are running this webinar. I can change the background image if I want. Let's say, okay, I have an image of basketball here in my images. Here we go, boom. This is somebody taking a jump shot. And I could change my background image. I can change the colors. I can change the font. I can change my company logo. This is basically a page builder. A lot of people are paying thousands of dollars every year to build to a landing page builder to build these things for their webinars. We include it in our membership, so that way you can create your own landing pages, your own registration pages that are built in. You can add bullet points. You can have an about page for your host. But say, for example, I want to add more to it. I could do that. I can change the font. I could change the text, all that kind of stuff. I can change my image here if I like, up to me. But let's say, for example, this is really cool and all, Omar, but I want a different layout. I want a different template. We have different templates to choose from, even though you can customize any of these templates. So I can choose, one of my favorite templates is this neat template, which is nice and clean, where you can add a photo here. You can add more information here. Say, for example, you don't want these bullets. You can easily just click it, take the section off. It's off. And then when I preview the page, you'll see that that section is not going to show. Pretty cool. I love it. What else? We have other templates as well that allow you to add video. So say, for example, you want to do a video intro and say, hey, welcome to my workshop. This is why you should register. Sell them on the workshop. You can add a video right here if you like. This is all, again, included with every plan with Webinar Ninja. So when I hit save, if, say, for example, I'm like, okay, this is the template I like. I want to save it. What's cool is that you could save a template as your own template in your media library. That means you create your own custom template and you can refer back to it later. Even more, what you could do is you could save this template as default. That means that when you create that webinar, remember how quickly we created a webinar? That this template will be the default template. That way I don't have to go and edit in the future. I'm just using the same one every time when I create a webinar. Really cool, really simple. A lot of thought got put into this, a lot of time, but we're really proud of that. So we're going to exit out, though, and I want to show you some other stuff that you could do here. Don't save. We're good. All right. So you can also do the same thing with editing your thank you page. So your thank you page is the page that they see after they register. You can thank them with a video. You can give them information. But we also have built-in add to calendar features, right? This is a feature that they click and they can add your event right to their calendar so they can easily be reminded when it's time, right? It works on Google Calendar, Yahoo Calendar, iCal, Microsoft calendars. It's great. And again, we have templates for this, video ones, regular ones, so you can customize as you go. I love it. What else? So you also get email notifications built in. Webinar Ninja allows you to get emails, send emails automatically to your registrants. That means you don't have to use an email marketing software to remind people, hey, your webinar is tomorrow. Your webinar is over. Here's a replay. I have an offer 2 weeks after the webinar is over. You can send them emails via our email notification system, and you can edit all these emails on the fly whenever you like. And then you can save them as well as default, so you don't have to write them over again. So this is like custom email that I wrote. I liked it. I saved it as default, and it's the one I use for all my live webinars. If you want to add an additional email, if you like, you can do so by adding an additional email here, and you can send it to specific groups, people that register, people that attend, people that didn't attend, right? So people that didn't attend, hey, you missed the offer. Here's the special offer. I can send it as a broadcast email, like manually at any time, or I can say relative to the webinar. So like, I want to send this 12 days after the webinar ends, right? And I can save that, and that's going to go. And I can have this saved for all my future webinars if I like, which is great because it allows you to have built-in email marketing inside of Webinar Ninja. So remember I told you that you can run your live webinar, okay? And then after that, say, for example, the webinar's over. You're going to say, well, what if people are going to go to a dead link? Are they going to be able to register? The webinar's over. Yes, they will. Why? Because inside of Webinar Ninja, we have something called webinar settings. And then you can change the replay settings to be no expiration. That means that when people go to your actual website, when they go to your registration page for your webinar, even though the webinar's over, they can still register and watch the replay. That makes it an automatic evergreen webinar. Let me show you an example of that I have ready for you. So this is a webinar that I ran a few weeks ago, or January 3rd, right? It's over, but they still can register. You can still register and watch the replay. So they can register and watch the replay. This allows you to, even though the webinar was live and it's over, you're not missing out on new emails and new signups, and you can be able to follow up with them on email as well with those follow-up email sequences I talked about. Okay, so this is really cool because it allows you to run the webinar once and benefit from it in the future. Okay, also, we have integrations with all the different email providers. If we don't have your provider, you can also do a Zapier integration, which we integrate with Zapier, which integrates over 1,000 different apps. We connect with MailChimp directly, Aweber directly, Infusionsoft, ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, HubSpot. Drip is coming in a few days, as well as Constant Contact. So we allow you to transfer all the emails and the names and all the contacts to your email marketing provider, either through a direct connection or through a Zapier connection if you want. Also, we have a manual process. If you like, you can go and you can export your email list. I would do that, but I want to expose people's email lists inside of my account. But you can export via CSV and then upload it to your email marketing provider if you choose to do that instead of one of the integrations. I want to show you what it looks like inside of Webinar Ninja when I'm running a webinar. So right now I'm inside my studio. This is where I'm chatting with people. Penny says, can I change the replay to be a paid evergreen webinar? Yes, you can, Penny. Let me show you how to do that. So what I would do is I would create, once I run my live webinar, I would create an automated webinar. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to hit create webinar, and then I'm going to go and choose automated. And then from there, I can choose how often I want to run this webinar, what days of the week, all that stuff. And then I choose select from my webinar replays. And from here, I can choose from any webinar that I ran in the past, and it's going to use the video. And it'll tell you how many minutes is that each of those videos, 46 minutes, 26 minutes, 39 minutes. It gives me, it tells me exactly how long that webinar is, so I can have an understanding of how long that webinar is going to be. So this is really easy to do, and you just click that and create your webinar, and you can have that run for as long as you like. Yep, and you can make it free or paid. We have a built-in Stripe integration. Stripe, we don't take any fees, but we integrate with Stripe for you, so you don't have to do that. You just sign up with Stripe. It takes 2 minutes to sign up with an account. And what we love about Stripe is that they don't hold your money for too long. It's like 48 hours, and you get paid in your bank really quickly. And it's the most developer friendly, so it's a direct integration that's seamless. So when people check out, they're going to get a credit card form. So basically, when they register, they're going to give their name and email address, but also the credit card details. When they hit register, they get charged. You get the money in Stripe, and it's a done deal. Love it. Okay. So in the studio, as you see, I ran some polls here. I got some questions here that are on the bottom here. We have an offers tab, which I will show in a moment. Here we go. I'll put show so you can see I can create an offer at any time, more offers if I like, where I can put text. I can change the button. I can change the button link where this goes to the offer, my checkout page. And I can display this during a webinar. I can also put a timer of when it displays, like 20 minutes after the webinar starts. And this is great for automated webinars because it will just show up automatically. Love it. But I don't want to create a new offer. And then on the right, it's an easy way. I love it, Mike. Thanks. To chat. Hey, guys. I'm all right. Hey, guys. And we have emojis, of course. I love it. Karen, I love all the options for running webinars for live and replays. Thank you, Karen. I love it. You can also lock the chat if you don't want people to chat for some reason. You'll see the chat is off now. You're not going to be able to chat, but then I can turn it back on at any time I like. And then, of course, one of the features that people love about Webinar Ninja is the ability to upload your slides directly to Webinar Ninja. And this allows me to just display my slides right there. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I can just drag and drop or upload my PowerPoint slides right here. It will convert them for me for the webinar. And I have my list of PowerPoints that I have here. This is the one for this webinar. I hit open, and I'll just change my layout so you can see what it looks like and go off picture in picture. Okay, so you'll see that it's on. Let me just go like this. It's easier. You'll see that, yeah, the slides are here, and I have my video, and I can swap from one to another if I like, and it's nice and easy. And I can go to the next slide here, 2, 3, 4. I can go back if I like. Super simple. And that way you can stay on one screen. You don't have to share screen to run PowerPoint or run your slides at any time. But of course, you can still do that if you like. What else I want to show you? You can also insert a video. Say, for example, you want to do some comic relief, or you want to get a guest teacher like Elon Musk. I'm inserting a video right here for everybody to watch. And I can swap screens and make it the main screen.
Elon, hey, welcome back to TED. It's great to have you here.
Cool. I love it. So thanks, Elon. I'll see you later. All right. Question about Google Slides. How did you insert video as an extra screen? All you got to do is just add, there's a little video icon on the left, Karen. And then you can add a video by putting a link here, name your video, and you can also choose the start and end time if you like. Super simple. And then it's saved in your account, and then you'll see it in your list right here, and you can open it and launch it at any time. You can't see this screen? Showed add video, I mean? Okay, add. Okay. Okay, sorry. That's what I was looking for. Okay, let me double click here and show you again. So you're going to go to upload video here. And then we have add video, and then you can add your link. You can add the name of your video, the start time, end time. Maybe you don't want to show the whole video. You want to show just a section of the video. Hit save. Once you hit save, it'll be on your list of videos. And then when you want to launch it, just hit open. And that's how I did it for you. Okay, we have a question also. Can I use Google Slides? Yes. So if you're in Google Slides, you can export it as a PowerPoint presentation, a PPT or PPTX. So if you have your slides on Google, you have two options. You can export it as a PPTX, and then you can just take that file and upload it to WebinarNinja. We'll save it in your account, and you can use it inside of WebinarNinja. That's the easiest option. The other option is, if you want to, you can share your screen and run your slides via the browser through Google Slides. I prefer just exporting it and putting it into WebinarNinja, so that way it's in my account and I can always refer to it. I don't have to have two things at the same time. Cool. Love it, love it, love it. What else? So you can also change layouts. As you can see, you could change layouts here on the left. I could put my other boxes, other smaller screens on the bottom. I can go picture in picture if I like. If I add a screen, of course, like let's say I add a video, I can go 4 screens like this, like Brady Bunch. Pretty cool. Love it. Yeah, so we make it super simple for you to change layouts, change the way you run your screens, and that way it's easy to kind of navigate. All right, I'm going to stop sharing screen and go back to my slides real quick. Okay, so as you can see, we really make WebinarNinja super simple for you to create your webinar and make it an email building machine. That way, even when your webinar is over, you can automatically turn the replays on to not expire, and it's an automated webinar forever. Or you can take that recording and create an automated webinar out of it. The beauty of WebinarNinja is that we don't charge you extra to have automated webinars. Every plan comes with live and automated webinars. So you don't have to buy an additional software for that. And it just makes things a lot easier for you to have everything under one roof. Here are the features that really stand out for WebinarNinja. We have a zero delay WebRTC, which is the technology that allows you to have a webinar with zero delay. So an example real quick so you can see how quick this is. I'm going to ask a question. Everybody put your hand on the keyboards and answer this question as soon as possible, all right? Are you a dog person or are you a cat person? Tell me. Mike is quick. Dog. So as you can see, it's really quick, and there's no delay between what I say and what you hear. Okay, I love it. Instant chat, there's Q&A with time stamping. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to answer some questions here. I see Frederick has a question. So I'm going to just share my screen real quick and show you what it looks like on my end. So I have I have Frederick here asking, how many subscribers should I be targeting to grow my email list to? Okay. So as I'm answering this question, I'm going to hit start answering. Great question, Frederick. Good to see you on the webinar. So it depends on your actual marketplace. Like I know some marketplaces where if they have an email list of 100,000 people, that's incredible. Like the market's not that large, right? But I would try your best to grow your email list as much as 5 to 10% every month. Okay, that should be your goal. 5 to 10% every month. So if you have, for example, 100 people on your list, then next month you want to shoot for 110. And 100, obviously 100 is small, but as you grow and you get bigger, that should be your goal. You're going to have spurts though when you do some of these things I talked about, the guest posting and being on the podcast, where you're going to see even your list double sometimes. But overall, as you start growing, that should be your minimum. I should get to 5 to 10% every month over month as I'm growing. And you could set your own targets and then you can adjust as you go along. So as I finish answering that question, I can hit stop answering. And then as you'll see, you'll go in the answer column and there's timestamp here. So there's a timestamp. Why do we have that? Because in the replay, if somebody sees this question and they click on that link, it will fast forward straight to when you answered that question, which is great for buying questions like, do you take Amex or do you have a payment plan? And it allows you to answer those buying questions without them having to watch the whole webinar. I love that. What else? Frederick asks another question about how many live automated webinars should I be doing per week? I recommend doing a live webinar twice a month, okay? And then you could turn those live webinars into automated, and those can run as many as you like. But I like to do live webinars twice a month because it allows me 2 weeks to market and build that list and build people's interest in joining that webinar. Thanks, Frederick, for that question. Love it. Okay, so let me go back to my slides here. So today we have a special offer for those who want to get started, but I want to just quickly go through these our unique features. So as I showed you, we can run polls. We can have email software inside of WebinarNinja. It's all built in. You can upload your slides. All our webinars are recorded and archived automatically. So there's nothing for you to press or to save. We do it all for you, and it gets saved in your system. You could download the video later on, and it's exactly like the way it was live. There's 10-second creation. You're allowed to create your webinar really quickly, as you saw. We have built-in registration page builders. We have the auto replays, like I showed you, that even though the live webinar was over, you still can register for the replay. You have automated webinars, hybrid webinars, instant offers, like I showed you, and built-in marketing, which I haven't even touched in, but we have our own search engine for webinars. So if you make your webinar public, you can be able to list it to our on-demand webinar, what we call the iTunes for webinars, called the Webinar Finder, to get you more attendees, to get people to register for your webinar.